Let's do it. Here we go.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the first live edition of the Life of Pod on YouTube Live. Joining me tonight is Mr. Matthew Cheeks.
What's up?
A lot of you guys will recognize him from our Thursday night pick'ems, but here tonight, we're not talking football. We're not talking sports at all.
Nope.
So, if you're here to talk about some Yellowstone, you're in the right place. We're talking Yellowstone Episode 1, Season 1. We were originally going to do 1 and 2, but Episode 1 is like an hour and a half, so there's a lot to dive into, and I don't be on here for 3 hours, so we're talking about Episode 1. So, Matt, just right off the rip, the opening scene is just so violent looking.
Yeah.
You walk into a car crash, essentially. You see Kevin Costner, and then he shoots the horse, which I was just like, oh.
Yeah, the part about it, that it's pretty crazy. You know, you don't see very many opening scenes that grab your attention like that right off the bat. Yeah, you see pretty much John Dutton coming out of this car wreck, bloodied up, not really knowing what's going on. You can hear the sirens off in the distance, but all of a sudden, you hear the horse and everything, and all of a sudden just takes his firearm and puts him down. Obviously, the horse isn't going to survive.
Yeah, you see like the horse's leg is like cut off.
Yeah, so it's pretty gruesome, but it goes from 0 to 100 like that. So yeah, it's an awesome opening scene, grabs your attention. You know it's going to be a pretty intense series.
And something I noticed, I rewatched it tonight before we came on. He grabs some kind of piece of paperwork with Yellowstone, like a car registration from the dead guy's car.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
I couldn't, it was so quick, couldn't see what it was. I don't know if it's registered to him, but obviously it's his car. It says Yellowstone Ranch on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, is that something that's going to come up later?
Yeah, you just don't know.
And just like, then you roll up and there's, first of all, how are these sheriffs? There's only 2 that show up. They're like, oh shit, it's John Dutton.
Yeah.
Like everyone just knows it's John Dutton.
Well, everyone, especially out there, everyone knows the Duttons. It turns out Duttons are one of the most powerful, most wealthiest families there is in Montana. So yeah, well, if you're John Dutton or you got the Dutton as your last name, you're well known and you're taken care of.
Yeah, and I love the line that he has. He goes, "The things we lose to feed you," which is like, you don't realize the importance of that line until I'm almost caught up with season 4 now, and it's just like everything that happens. No spoilers, obviously, till we get there. It's just like he says that you're like, I didn't hear it the first time I watched. I heard it tonight. And I was like, oh shit, that's like every episode, like boom, 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 boom down the line. You're just like, who? Yeah. Because I remember you're the one that got me to watch. It took you.
I'm really glad you did because after watching the first episode, second episode, after watching season 1, it's like meth. You're just hooked. You can't let go.
Horrible reference, but I get it.
Yeah, I don't do drugs. Don't worry.
No, but yeah. So Matt tried to talk me into watching this for probably at least a month, and I was just like, it's not that good. It's not that good. Kevin Costner can't do a dramatic action show like that. But boy, was I wrong. Kevin Costner is still the fucking man. And so we'll jump to the next scene. The next scene is, I like what they did with this. They jump from the car wreck, boom, we're going to grab you and rip your heart out 45 seconds into the show. Then you start meeting characters in different scenes in their environment. You first meet Jamie in the law house. Is he in Montana? I can't remember. Is he in the Montana law house? The courthouse? So you meet Jamie. He's in there arguing with some guy who's trying to build some stuff. And I love the line. He goes, you go ahead and try and tell my dad to sell his land. He goes, good luck with that. And then the guy gets pissy with him. And then you jump to the next scene. You meet Casey, his other son. His estranged son, which you don't know about yet, but you learn 8 minutes later, so we're not really spoiling anything.
Yep.
So you meet him, then you meet actually, no, you don't meet them yet. Then the next scene, they just keep going, and then the next scene you meet is this lawyer, essentially. I think she's not even a lawyer, is she?
Who?
Beth.
Yeah, Beth isn't a lawyer.
Yeah, Beth isn't a lawyer. So you meet her, but you can start after it. she's just like a crazy badass bitch, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. She's just a badass chick.
Mm-hmm.
So you meet her, and then the next cutscene, you go back to KC, and you see him. You find he lives on an Indian reservation. He married an Indian chick, Angela, and his son Tate.
You mean Monica? Her name's Monica.
Monica. Oh my God, I'm thinking Dexter. I'm sorry, guys. I was watching Dexter there, right? Too. There's the Indian sheriff and Dexter's named Angela. Woo! Yep. Yeah, botched that one. I even wrote it down, Angela. And then you go back to the house. Jane and Dad are arguing. It's the first mention of the mother. So you haven't met the mother yet.
Correct.
They've made no mention of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shot where you see like just how effing loaded they are.
Yeah.
You see just
the absolute size and massiveness of the Dutton Ranch house, the wealth, the prestige. You get everything in these shots here. And what I really like is that, they don't introduce all the characters at once. They kind of give you that background story, and they kind of don't give you everything. So it makes you want to keep guessing and keep wondering what is it that they do, because that Jamie's, he's in law. Is he a DA? Is he a lawyer? Obviously
they don't really tell you.
You understand that he's in that profession, right? But is he good? Is he bad? You have no idea. Mm-hmm. And then you meet Casey. Probably pretty much one of my favorite, not my all-time favorite, but absolutely love Casey. He's a former Navy SEAL, but you learn that he's estranged from the family because he's decided to go marry Monica on an Indian reservation, go against the family. And, I have a child with another woman that's not part, that's an Indian, and that goes against the family. So, he makes his own decisions. And then you meet Beth, and, Beth is just a badass chick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right off the rip. She's like, the guys in there arguing about it. She goes, don't look at him. Look at me. You're dealing with me now. Mm-hmm. And then she like makes the deal and goes to her bitch. She goes, I just saved your family. Your house, your wife. I just put your kids through college. So how about you live more grateful and say something nicer? And the guy goes, she goes, that's what I thought. And then just like walks out. I was just like, oh shit. The guy's this guy, I just got owned. Mm-hmm. But you see the helicopter in the house, and then these big ass F-2000s, whatever the hell they're called.
They're Ram 3500s.
Yeah, just fucking massive, nice trucks.
And I'm no secret, Dodge and Ram pretty much have sponsorships through this whole entire thing. Yeah. But yeah, they're just absolutely, completely loaded family.
Yeah, it's like the helicopter. I'm just like, you're the helicopter?
Yeah, and you have a pilot that just takes you wherever you want to go.
There on standby.
Yeah.
In case you need to go somewhere.
You got a helicopter?
I have a toy helicopter.
Okay. Doing better than I am then.
And then we meet our first protagonist. I forget his name, first name, Rainwater. Mm-hmm. So you meet Rainwater, he's at the shot of these Indians doing like an Indian dance. You see they're at a casino. You meet, what's his first name? I forget.
Why are you doing this to me? Jonathan Rainwater?
It's something like that.
I gotta look this up now.
So why you do that? But yeah, so you meet him, and then you see he's at a casino, and then a senator comes in, and then he basically saying like, the Americans stole the land, Thomas Rainwater. He basically talks to the senator. Says, what do you want me to do? He goes, the Americans stole the land from us. We're never going to get it back. But what we're going to do is we're going to buy it back with their money without them knowing. He goes, and she goes, what do you want me to do? He goes, I want you to help me spend it. Mm-hmm. I love that. It's just like, you had the first protagonist, and then you go right into the next shot. You meet, is it Dan? I can't remember this guy's name.
Jenkins.
Dan Jenkins. Mm-hmm. Who, I forget this actor's name, but he always seems to be playing a villain, but he's so good.
Dan Jenkins is played by Danny Houston.
Yeah.
Or Huston.
Everyone I've seen him in her show, he's always been like the asshole, the bad guy.
He is another protagonist in everything he is.
But he's so good at it.
Yes.
And so you meet him, you see that they're trying to build this land. They're trying to get this development going.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to build this community.
They're trying to build a community, like a snow ski resort or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that's stopping them is the Dutton Ranch.
Yep.
So both these guys, they don't know yet, but they're almost going full circle around the Dutton Ranch, and they're going to meet, in the middle to try and get the Dutton Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the shot where you meet Lee, the oldest son.
Yep.
And you have your first standoff, so you meet a bunch of characters in the show for a while. It's literally just an Indian standoff. It's essentially what it is.
Yeah, at the fence.
At the fence, because the cattle's now on the reservation, and the Dutton Ranch hands are trying to get it back, and you can't come on our land. Mm-hmm. And then the old man says, "Fuck you," goes off your land. They throw his ass down. Then Lee comes out with the gun. I'll point you.
Oh,
the gun.
What kind of gun is he?
Hey, what?
He has an AR.
AR. Mm-hmm. He's got his little the badge.
He's the cow police.
Basically the cow police. And then they're arguing, and everybody draws guns, and then all of a sudden, here comes John Dutton with this helicopter. And the fact that John Dutton knows everybody. He knows the sheriff's name. He knows the other name's Dan, because there's I think he calls him Bobby or something like that. He walks right in, nobody touches him. Mm-hmm. And he goes and talks to the elder, Felix. And Felix pretty much agrees to try to keep the cattle close because he doesn't want them coming on the land and causing violence. And then the sheriff, not the sheriff, but the deputy's pretty much saying, well, the new sheriff wants a fight to make a name for himself. And Dutton's just like, why? Like, what is the point of this? Mm-hmm. So basically you already see the pot stirring. You're just like, well, he has to get his cattle back.
Right.
That's his money. There's probably a couple $1 million in that field worth of cattle for him.
Probably not that much, but it is a lot of money.
We'll say a couple $100,000. But fair. Still, that's a crap load of money that I wish I could have.
Yes.
And then you see John Dutton, he ends up, I'm assuming he takes a helicopter. He goes to the cattle sale.
Yep.
The Montana cattle sale. And that's where you meet, was it the governor? Who's the
you meet the governor.
You meet the governor. And then you meet Jimmy's grandfather. Mm-hmm. The older guy, I forget his name again. There's so many people to learn right off the bat.
They introduce a lot of characters right off the bat. And the thing with that was that what I liked was that it was a lot, but it wasn't overwhelming. They didn't just introduce 20 seconds here, 20 seconds there. They talk to a little bit. Mm-hmm. You kind of understood what they're about and who they are and how they fit in, but not 100%. Which is why, like I said earlier, it keeps you guessing, keeps you wondering, keeps you intrigued.
And so Jimmy's granddad basically asked John, he goes, I need you to hire my son. He goes, I hire cowboys, not criminals. Basically begs him. And then John Dutton tells his son Jamie to basically go make nice with the governor, essentially, and he's trying to tell the governor, he goes, I don't want my kid in politics. She goes, he's already in law. He's pretty much already there.
Right.
The next scene is probably one of Matt's favorite scenes of the show. You meet Matt's favorite character, Rip. Mm-hmm. Rip shows up at Jimmy's trailer, kicks down the door. Jimmy's high as hell and something. Mm-hmm. Basically tells him you have two choices. We're gonna take all this shit, and I'm gonna turn you into the police, or you can come work on the ranch. Mm-hmm. He has one of two choices. So of course Jimmy then takes the brand.
Yep. Goes and says, I'll work at the ranch, work for the Duttons, but it comes with that the stipulation that you have to wear the brand. And this is really where you first understand, this is some shit. Mm-hmm. To take the brand is no joke. I don't even know if I would take it. It's all about having that brotherhood. You become pretty much untouchable. Mm-hmm. But it's almost a life sentence in a sense.
Yeah, they're only making $400 a week.
Yeah, they don't make very much money. Odds a hand.
Yeah, so you can figure too. But you figure that's probably better than jail.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and you can tell that Jimmy wants out of the life. He's looking for an out. He's looking for any door available to get out of the life he's currently in. And obviously it's not an easy choice for him because it's the only door that's available at this point because he doesn't want to go to jail or anything. And you can tell that right off the bat, Jimmy is one of those people that, doesn't want to disappoint people. He's lived a life of disappointment and he's tired of it.
Yeah. So, like I said, you meet Rip, and you're instantly like, this dude is he's not fucking around, basically.
Yeah. There's no subtlety with Rip. He's the ranch muscle. But
you don't really know that until like later that he's kind of like the badass of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And then he flashes forward a little bit, and it shows John looking out with some binoculars while the cowboys are rounding up the cattle. You see Dan golfing on the golf course, and he's like, son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And he rides down there on his horse. So you have your first Dan, John. I can't find the names.
Yeah.
You have your first confrontation with them, and it basically hints at like he's responsible for the accident. He goes, "You owe me a fucking horse," and I love that line. And he doesn't say anything else; it just rides away, and Dan's just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because you're not really told what happens, like who caused the accident, what's going on.
Yeah, so you don't really know. Sorry, I'm sniffling. I'm still battling a cold for the last week. So,
thanks for telling me.
No, I'm new. I mean, it's just like this stuff he knows.
Whatever.
But yeah. The next shot you got is Beth walking around the house with not a whole lot on.
Mm-mm.
And then Rip is there, and Rip's like, "What is this?" She goes, "I'm rearranging my spider web." I'm just like, "I'm rearranging my web," and we're all just like, "What?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Life is simple, Rip." She goes, "Either you fuck me or you keep walking down the hall." And they have a really hot bang scene, and I don't know how other way to put it besides that. And crap, where did the rest of my notes go? Oh no. A little unprepared for this one, folks. I apologize. But you remember what happens. You can kind of.
So yeah, pretty much. I mean, the big moment in the show is when they get, at least in this episode, is the whole getting the cattle back. So pretty much what happens is that they decide, Rainwater is very unwilling to get the cattle back. They have stumbled on his land, and once they're on my land, they're mine. And obviously the fence is gone for a reason. The fence was up. They took the fence down purposely.
And they hint that. They're like, there was a fence here last week. He goes, I know.
Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, well, then, and if I just came to me, like you have John goes to Casey's house, has a conversation with him, like basically like, shit's going to come to a head and you need to pick sides. He goes, I don't want to pick sides. I can't pick sides. He goes, you're going to have to.
Right.
The Indians or your family.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So what's great is that night scene is they pretty much just get in ATVs, four-wheelers, trucks, horseback, and they just go right across the line onto the reservation. Well, and they're waiting for it too, which I love on the reservation.
Another thing I love they did, like they basically said, come and get it. He goes, I will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
just threw down the challenge and he wasn't backing down.
He goes, okay. And so they even show, because they drive up past like the trailers and reservation and stuff too, don't they? They just go.
They just go right to the cattle. So the best part, I love this, is that they go and they use the helicopter too. Dutton's in the helicopter, and they start rounding it up, get the cattle across. Indians and the reservation police start coming across, or really chasing after them. And you get this sense of it's about to go down. I mean, everyone's armed to the teeth.
And Monica's brother is out there. He wants to fight too.
Monica does. And Casey is actually siding with the reservation over the family. Even though he doesn't really want to choose a side, he's going to pick the side of his wife to begin with. So smart man. Smart man. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
and you get this just moment where shots start going off and they get into this massive shootout. Cattle eventually do get back across the line, and Monica's brother comes across the line and chases after Lee.
And they're shooting at, and they hit the helicopter a few times. And John Dutton's like, let's get the fuck out of here, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So Monica's brother comes across the line and goes after Lee, shoots Lee.
Well, remember what Lee says. Lee goes, you want him back? Come and get him. Pop, pop. 3 to the chest.
So he shoots Lee, kills Lee, which means Casey sees this. And now,
but you don't see it right away. All of a sudden, you see like this like silhouette coming in a distance. And all you see is a foot to the face of Monica's brother. You're just like, who just kicked this dude?
Yeah, so you can tell that in that moment, Casey realizes that he may have chosen the wrong side to quote unquote fight for, because he goes up and he then kills Monica's brother.
But Monica's brother does draw on him first.
Correct. Only problem is though that Casey executes him.
Yeah.
Which is obviously straight up murder at that point.
Yeah.
That's not self-defense. Which we can get into if you want to talk about self-defense.
No, we're not going down that road. Nope.
But, which, is a turning point for Casey there. Your brother is literally shot and killed in front of you by your own wife's brother, your brother-in-law.
And then you turn and kill him.
You turn and kill your brother-in-law.
And then you have to basically lie about it to your wife's face.
Yeah, she doesn't find out for a hot minute there. So
almost, I think, till I don't think she finds out episode 2, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's not told right away. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, because he gets home late, he's covered in blood.
So we get the cattle back. We lose a member of the Dutton family, and then we.
That scene was like horrific because Casey rides in. You see him in the distance, riding with the sun coming up, with Lee over the horse, covered in blood. And that scene was just like the whole family, like Beth is there, Jamie's there. I think Rip's outside too, I believe.
The whole ranch is there pretty much.
And then John basically takes Lee out into a field and is like, we're going to find somewhere to bury you. And he goes, people responsible for this are going to pay. And just sits there and holds the dead body. I'm just like, ugh. I mean, obviously I haven't had to hold somebody dying, so maybe I don't understand. But to me, I was just kind of like, no.
Yep. It's a rough scene to watch, and you can feel the love and the drama in it.
And you can tell he's one of the favorite sons by the way he's treated. And then Jamie has that line, I wish he would look at me the way he looks at him, and Beth goes, he never will. Yeah. And it's just like, you are so cold. Your brother's just kind of reaching out for a little bit of love. He's always been the run of the family basically, and he's just and she's basically just like, you're a little bitch the whole time, just
there's this love-hate relationship you have with Beth. You just love how just absolutely
does anything for the family
badass she is, but she has zero heart and she has zero empathy, nothing. And obviously her character develops and you learn a lot about her down the road.
There is so much to dive into in season 3 once we get to that. Season 3 was that episode might be an hour episode if we really want to get into it.
We could, but pretty much the whole entire thing, the episode.
And of course you have the funeral scene and John, I think John tries to give Casey the horse. Casey tries to give John the horse.
The one that's not broken in. Yeah. Pretty much. And what I like is that all the Duttons are buried there. Yeah. In that little quote unquote cemetery that they have. The family gets to stay together, which I really enjoy that. I like that little part about that. Getting back to the whole Dan Jenkins thing though, you can tell that it's Dutton versus Rainwater versus Dan. It's Rainwater versus Dutton versus Dan. It's Dan versus Rainwater versus Dutton. It's this weird, awesome triangle.
A circle,
It's fucktacular, right?
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Fucktangular.
We'll use that word.
Yeah, pretty much it just means that it's a extremely complicated, overwhelming type of scenario going on. So, anyway, so Dan pretty much wants to build this condominium development mini quote unquote city.
Yeah.
Against everyone's wishes, right?
Yeah, Rainwater doesn't want it. Obviously, Dutton doesn't want it because they're range 200 square miles or something like that.
It's massive. Yeah. It's absolutely massive.
And as we learn, as you were actually telling me, that I guess there's actually the Dutton Ranch is a real place. You can actually they film at. That's a real ranch. The house is there. That is literally where they filmed it.
They didn't build it. It was already there.
That. I was like, man, I remember watching. I was like, if they actually built this set, that'd be millions of dollars to build this set.
Yep.
But instead, they probably just went to the actual Dutton and was like, hey, can we film here? Probably like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite parts of the episode, outside of the shootout, because I just love the action of that kind of stuff. You get this scene where Jimmy, this new ranch hand, and
he shows up late his first day.
Yeah, right. And Rip and a few other people that go out up in the mountains and are like, what are they doing? Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
So pretty much, you know what? This is great.
Yeah, we're gonna take a hot second in honor of our boy Rip. Yeah. So as you guys know, this is not sponsored by them at all. Coors Golden Beer, the banquet beer. And this is Rip's go-to beer, as we know. So we're going to go ahead and crack one of these bad boys open.
Coors, the banquet beer. Cheers, my friend. No. You're good. Game of life.
So, yes, we'll go ahead and break down that scene, because that scene, I had to go back and rewatch. I was like, I looked away for a second, and then something happened. So go ahead and break that down.
So pretty much, there's this river that's going to run.
Hold on. You got to build the scene. Dan has a bunch of people in their Dan has a bunch of people in their clubhouse. He's trying to sell this land. So he has all these expensive, fancy people from California, which is where he's from.
Right. And he's trying to just pretty much get them almost as investors to say, hey, this is the vision. This is the idea. This is what I want to create.
And something I didn't really mention, but the river is mentioned in like the first 8 minutes of the show. He goes, our river, our rules. No one tells us what to do. We can dam it if we want. And Dutton basically tells them that river runs through our land. He goes, not anymore, pretty much. Yeah. And then
it comes down to the river.
It flash forwards to
this scene with
this is one of my favorite scenes too. Oh, it's
Rip,
so good.
Jimmy,
So good.
A few other guys at the ranch run up into the mountains with explosives. They bury it right at the edge of the river, and they literally create this explosion, which creates a landslide, and it literally moves the river.
They move the entire. But I love what Jimmy says. Jimmy goes, "Is this legal?" And Rip's just like, "Shut the fuck up and dig."
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Jimmy.
It's Cole Hauser, right?
Cole Hauser, yep.
So a lot of you guys, like, I recognize him from other movies. Like, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but I recognize him right off the rip just from Too Fast, Too Furious, like years and years and years ago. Then I saw he was in the show. I was like, all right, I know him. I've seen Beth in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, Casey.
I've never seen Casey.
Casey was an American Sniper. Luke Grimes.
Okay.
He was in The Magnificent Seven.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yep. He's been in a few things.
And then, of course, Kevin Costner, the great Kevin Costner. I mean, this cast is just phenomenal.
It was cast extremely well. But anyways, getting back, they moved the river.
Talk about Jamie real quick. I figured out where I recognize Jamie from. He's from American Horror Story.
I've never seen. I don't like that kind of crap.
And he's also in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But we'll go back to that.
Anyways, you get they blow the river, or they blow the explosives. They change the path of the river, and you get this cut scene back to the golf course
of Dan, and they're all outside. Also, you see this
boom. Yeah.
And Dan's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they go to the river, and it's just dried up.
I love that.
Which is great.
I love, because they didn't mention, damn well They timed that shit for that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You know they did.
Yeah.
They had to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was like, usually, and Dan's just like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
They just changed the whole direction of everything.
Yeah. Honestly, episode 1 just it sinks its claws into you. You just want to know what happens.
And the thing is, with episode 1, there's a lot of like dead parts. So we're trying to hit like the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
After the funeral, basically Kevin Costner tells, goes up to Beth and Jamie. He goes, I need you to fight. He goes, and she goes, who want me to fight? And he goes, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Beth goes, okay, daddy. When she says daddy to him, to me, it's so creepy. It's
like you got daddy issues.
Yeah,
and,
it's just like, are you a stripper? Like, what's happening here?
Yep.
But yeah, like, after, like, episode 1 ended, I binged the shit out of this show.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the first 3 seasons in a week and a half. Probably less than that. Mm-hmm. And then he'd be at his place, which is like a mile down the road from here. And I'd be like, this is happening. This is happening. This is happening. He'd be like, I know. I already watched it. I already watched everything.
It was so hard not for me to not like, because I knew everything that was coming down the road. And he'd be like, oh my God, they just did this. It's like, you don't even understand. Like, it's about to get so much crazier.
Oh, we skipped over like a big thing. I feel like.
What?
Do we have a first train station, or is that's
no,
episode?
It's episode
3.
5. 4
okay.
or 5.
Okay. I was like, I feel like we wouldn't have missed that part. But I want to talk about like the bunkhouse real quick. We haven't really covered that. Like the bunkhouse hands. So go ahead. You were telling me we're gonna jump kind of a little off topic, but still in the same. You said like kind of break down like who the writer of the show is. You're talking about this, and I didn't know this.
So Taylor Sheridan.
I mean, you guys out there may know this. I just didn't. So
he has done a lot of different things, and the one thing I actually like is that he puts himself into the show as a character. And
I love when directors do that. But it's not a big part. It's just like little 4 or 5 minutes here and there. Nothing that's going to take away from
not
the show.
Every episode. It's just a once in a while.
He's been there. I think through up to season 4 is what, twice.
Oh no! He's probably been on the show probably 8-10 times or so. Maybe less. I don't know, but it's always these quick 4-10 minute scenes, anything like that.
And there's always something funny too. It's never anything really that serious.
Exactly.
It's always it's real calm. Like it's nothing that's gonna be a key piece in the show. It's just basically just to make fun of Jimmy is basically what it is.
Yeah, right. What it is. No, he plays this character Travis, who's a Texas cowboy pretty much, and he goes and he shows all these prize horses at shows and events. I love how he created this character, obviously for himself.
Yeah,
and it puts this serious drama and puts humor with it. It's never serious when Travis is there.
No,
it's always a good time when Travis is there.
Yeah, and so like I like his character. Then like you have all the actual like the cowboys, the ranch hands, the bunkhouse, whatever you guys want to call them. You met Rip. Rip's freaking phenomenal, and then
you have Lloyd.
Lloyd's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
and I love like later in the later seasons, his part gets bigger and bigger because in the first season and a half,
there's really nothing for Lloyd. He has a few lines in an episode. There. It's just he's just part.
Yeah, because like down the line, I have like almost like a symbolistic thing that I kind of saw, almost like Lloyd almost being a father figure for Jimmy. But we'll get into that once we get there.
Yeah, Lloyd's in his 60s probably.
Yeah, so you have so Rip's in the bunkhouse still, right? At this point.
Yeah, Rip he's the foreman. He's the main guy.
So Rip, Lloyd. I mean, there's so many guys that come and go. It's just what's the black guy's name? I can't think of his name. He's one of the main guys. Crap. I should have wrote this down, but I didn't. But yeah, so you get your first glimpse of the bunkhouse, and we didn't go into the bunkhouse in this episode, do we?
No. So yeah, you got Jimmy, you have Lloyd, you have Ryan.
Okay. Remember episode 1?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't want to ruin all this for everyone.
No. Don't ruin anything.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to talk about Mo. Mo, Rainwater's bodyguard.
Oh my God! Yeah. Again, this is gonna happen, folks. Live show. So,
Mo is Rainwater's bodyguard, who's just
very stoic.
Yeah,
stoic. I
feel
like
he's the best kind of. He's like the Indian from Longmire. Remember?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that guy. He's been on something Diamond. Diamond Phillips.
Yeah. So
Phillips Diamond.
Either way, Mo. I love Mo, and I really hope that they start to build his character as they move through these seasons, and they do.
What I would like is to get a little bit of his backstory.
Yep.
Because they hint at certain things, but they never really dive into it. A lot of other characters, like later in the season, which we'll cover when we get there, you get background stories of why certain relationships are the way they are. So remember, I was texting you, I was like, why is this person doing this, not that? You were like, just wait for the backstory. Like, damn it. I'm like, why is Rip the way he is? You're like, it'll get explained. And I'm on episode 4, and I want to know. They don't tell me till end of season 3 why he is halfway through season 3 why he is the way he is. But
but you get this character, and Mo is so level-headed. He can be in a stressful situation and think clearly. Shake. He kind of gives Rainwater that other vision, that other view, and say, hey, you might not want to attack it this way. Be patient. Yeah. Right? That it's going to work out just fine, that maybe this is the way we want to attack it. Because when you get into such a stressful situation, mine says, get your hands dirty. That's just a Rip thing right there.
Mine says, what you're made of matters. Water. That's what it says. It's like the Jones sodas. Remember those?
Yep. But Mo, you start to learn more, and he's one of I think, an undervalued character for Rainwater.
Because they don't really utilize him to later in season 3, which we will get to.
Yep, he really starts to become his own in season 2, and then in season 3 he has his things, and in season 4 But overall, I think Taylor Sheridan has done an awesome job with this, and it's not just his first thing. He was in Sons of Anarchy as a character, right? He
was as a character. Who? What character was he?
I have no idea. I just remember seeing that.
We don't have time for Sons of Anarchy right now. This is Yellowstone, but that's awesome. So, I guess my biggest question that I've been wondering, if anybody out there knows, please on the comment section, please let me know. I want to know how many hours, probably it had to be I'm gonna say a couple hundred hours learning how to horseback ride the way they do. Because you can't these dudes aren't just gonna get on a horse and ride the way they are. I mean, they're not just walking along, they're
clipping.
They're going. I mean, and again, you said some of these dudes are real cowboys, which makes sense. That
Lloyd, he's actually a real cowboy.
And then the guy with the glasses, he's been in almost every episode.
Jake.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, how many hours they spent learning how to ride a horse? Because chances are these dudes weren't riding horses before this series came out.
I think Costner had an upper hand. Because he's been an actor for so long, has so many different roles.
Well, I mean, Dance with Wolves, he's riding a horse for damn near 2 hours of the movie. That's 4 hours long. So,
but
also 20 years ago.
I also think that they had some pretty well-trained horses too.
But still, you gotta be able to get on and off the horse the right way, ride it the right way, and steer whatever. I don't ride horses, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah,
I've been on a horse twice. But I'm just curious how long it took these actors to learn how to ride a horse. Because obviously it's not always them, they're stunt guys.
Right.
There's a lot of scenes where it's the camera shot is them on the horse. You can't really fake some of that stuff. I mean, maybe you can. I'm not Hollywood.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Sheridan, he made a screenwriting debut with Sicario.
I love Sicario.
Yeah.
That movie was amazing. Maybe we'll have to cover that one in a future episode in between TV show episodes.
Yeah.
Also, again, I forgot to mention, guys, the new direction of this show I put on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. we used to cover a bunch of topics, but I want to kind of streamline more. So from now on, I'm just going to be doing just like TV shows and movies. So basically, like me and Matt are going to cover all of Yellowstone, but in between that, I'm going to be covering like the new season of Dexter and just like random movies that I find, and we'll be doing like that. But the live ones, probably like me and Matt doing Yellowstone, where I find other people do other shows. Just so you know, that's kind of what the direction we're going. We will be doing a rebranding logo that's coming up Monday, so we'll be looking for that. But yeah, I'm episode 2. I'm pumped for like season 3. Season 3 just hits the fan.
Yeah.
Like my mind was like exploding. It's like 11:30 at night. I'm like, I think I can squeeze one more episode. I gotta be up at 7, but I can do it.
Yeah, and that's a bad part. I don't even want to call it bad. It's the great part about it is that you want to watch one more.
But that's what makes the show fantastic. Is that you're like, oh, one more episode. For me, I'm lucky. You've been watching as it's been going. I played catch up in the last week and a half.
So you have that ability to watch whatever you want and get it. But when you get caught up like I am, it's like every Sunday night the show ends. It's like I have to wait a full week. Oh my god, I don't want to wait a week. I want to watch the next episode now.
See, I'm one episode behind right now in season 4 because my Sunday nights are dedicated to Dexter. Which that episode will be dropping Monday evening, so be on the lookout for that. It's a new series, New Blood, not the old one. Dude, you gotta catch up on that too.
Okay.
But yeah, episode 2, we're going to figure out a day to knock that one out. We'll figure out a day and time sometime next week.
Yep.
But yeah, episode 2, I think. Episode 1, again, is just they give you so many characters. And by the way, I couldn't believe they killed off Lee so quickly.
And see, I hated it, but it made it suspenseful. It gave you that drama, and it built the story.
Because when it happened, I was like, "Oh, he's fine," and then he's just like, "No, he's not. He's dead. It's not like he's not like, oh, I'm back." Like,
cheat code.
Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, he's like gone."
Yeah.
And like,
you were there for 30 minutes, and now you're gone.
And I was just like, I was sitting on my couch, and I was like, wait, what? You can't just kill the main character. What is this, Game of Thrones? Like, and that's what it felt like. But Game of Thrones is 5,000 characters versus the 30 on Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Which makes it way easier to keep up with.
Yeah. It was a fantastic first episode. Sank its claws in.
It's basically a movie.
Watch it. It is.
And you can almost end it as a movie with the way it ended.
Yeah, there's not very many shows out there that you just want to keep watching and keep watching and keep watching and keep watching. You know, Dexter's definitely one of them. This is one of them. You know, Breaking Bad was one of them for me.
We should do some Breaking Bad episodes after we get done with Yellowstone. I'll rewatch Breaking Bad. I've rewatched it in like a couple years.
But yeah, man, this is it's one of the best shows I've ever watched. You have to watch it if you haven't started.
Yes, please watch the show. And tonight, as you can see, Matt even brought his Yellowstone whiskey that he found. And of course, you can show off your bottle of your special edition of Maker's
Mark here. Only about 1,000 of these bottles were ever made, so we're gonna tap into that tonight.
So I think we should wait till we start season 3 for like the big episode. You know what I'm talking about? Like the big one. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait to open that up for the big one.
Okay.
That sounds really bad out of context. But I want to wait for like the episode that I was just like, this show is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was like, this show's really good, and then it just like, and if you guys have seen season 3, you probably know what episode I'm talking about. I think you do. It's not the last episode. It's like 2 or 3 before that. But it's just like, I remember watching, I was just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, and that was like,
it takes everything and it flips it upside down.
And like that episode, Rip is just like, he's basically fucking Superman. Oh, but I don't want to get into it because that one might be an hour and a half long episode. Because there's so much of that episode that happens.
Much to cover.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us.
We will be back next week. We're gonna figure out a day and time because right now it's the holidays and Thanksgiving's next week. And we have our football special next Tuesday night, 7 p.m., 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, football pick'ems. But yeah, we'll figure out day next week to get together. We'll figure it out. So again, thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.
Later.
Oh, wait, I forgot my line. I hope you've enjoyed this slice of pie. Oh, shit.
I like it.
See, it looks good up there, man.